Welcome to After the Nudge podcast. I'm Soledad O'Brien.
And I'm J.R. Smith.
So on this podcast, we chat with some of the nation's most outstanding grassroots community organizations. They all received a nudge from Toyota in the form of a $10,000 grant.
Today we have Willie Buie out of Chicago of the Blue and White Foundation. One of the things that's near and dear to my heart is HBCUs, which he specializes in. And welcome to the show. Appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's so nice to have you. All right, let's start with the Blue and White Foundation. It came out of a fraternity. Can you talk a little bit about the foundation and the fraternity that you came out of?
Sure. I'm a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity and also a member of Pi Psi Sigma alumni chapter based out of Chicago. And we started a foundation back in 2015. The foundation is basically our non-for-profit arm of the chapter, and we try to support our unprivileged and at-risk children in our community, and we give them opportunities to go along to HBCU tours. We currently have one going now, which is going to 7 HBCUs at this moment. We have about 45 students that's participating in this, and we also have some of our members going along with the tour as chaperones and their parents.
Why did you feel like it was so important for these kids to gain that experience of an HBCU and take these tours?
I believe it's really important that they learn about the history of HBCUs and see where it comes from, and actually they have on-staff members at the schools that actually give a background of the HBCU school that they at. Some are at Tennessee State, Fisk University, Morehouse, also at Tuskegee University, just to name a few.
Give us a sense of who the kids are who are doing these tours.
Well, we kind of put it out on our website and Facebook page, and we give the opportunity for students and their parents to actually send their children on these tours. So we just try to reach all the community and give them the opportunity to come on this tour.
So it could be anybody.
Yes.
It could be kids whose parents haven't gone to college. It could be kids whose parents have gone to college. Anybody who wants to join.
Yes, anybody that wants to join, male or female.
Is there of a certain age, or do you have to be in high school, or?
It's usually in the graduating year. Like right now, the seniors of high school are employed to go, but you actually can have juniors also coming along on this tour, so they'll know what to expect when they get ready to graduate.
Nice.
What's the philosophy or the mission of Phi Beta Sigma that made the fraternity members want to kind of reinvest in education?
Well, we are about culture for service and service for humanity, so we wanted to get a sense of the at-risk children in our communities and try to give them opportunity to advance and give them exposure to what's going on outside of their community. Because a lot of these kids, they really don't know, they've never been, some of them haven't been downtown Chicago. You know, they just kind of stay in their own community. So if we can get in there and give them an opportunity to look and see what's going on outside of the community, maybe it gives them a better chance in life.
I think that's important for, fraternities, especially at HBCUs, because so often you hear kids, nowadays it's always hazing or something in a negative aspect, but I don't think we highlight enough community service that actually goes through these fraternities and foundations like this to where it's more about the brotherhood and the beneficial of the community opposed to the quote unquote headlines of some negativity of somebody doing something stupid on campus.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these fraternities and sororities, I'm a Delta, just throwing it out there. No, but right? And so is your daughter.
Yes.
Because she's putting out the Delta sign. But, a lot of black fraternities and black sororities really, I think, have a focus of investing into their community.
Yes.
To really make sure that the next generation is supported and helped, because I think for a lot of folks, it's hard to go. If you haven't had parents who've gone through college, it can be really hard. And even if you have had parents who've gone to college, it can be hard to pay for it.
Exactly. My parents never went to college, but I definitely wanted to give my daughter an opportunity to go to college, even though it wasn't an HBCU. But where the college that we went to was Southern Illinois University, that experience was something really great for me, and I wanted my daughter to get that experience. And the black community in Southern Illinois University was so receptive. We still have a great connection with that. We're part of the alumni, so we come down there every year or every other year for the Black Alumni reunion, and we all get together and have a good time, but we also raise money for trying to give back to some of the upcoming students.
What are your goals for expansion? Like I know everybody, you're at a certain point, you got to a certain level and you don't want to feel satisfied. So where do you want to go in the next year or two, or do you have a goal, or how many kids you just want to pump out and get to HBCUs? Or
Yes, we plan on trying to grow every year and increasing the numbers of students that's coming to the HBCU tours, but also our foundation is trying to get a community center together where we can bring the young children into the
Go ahead, just bring it
no,
up.
you go.
okay. Bring
We
the
never
young-
make mistakes ever. It's a little shocking.
So we try to bring kids into the organization and show them what fraternities and sororities is all about, and give them an opportunity to see what's going on.
One way that you raise money for the students and their tours of HBCUs, et cetera, is through golf tournaments.
Yes.
And I have this theory that men will come up with anything possible so that they can link it to golf.
Yes.
But I think this is for an amazing cause. Tell me a little bit about that connection with golf and this foundation.
Okay, we just started our golf, we call it a golf outing right now. We're building up to a golf tournament. We just had one in August. We expected maybe 72 golfers, and we winded up with 84.
Wow.
So
Congrats.
we definitely reached our goal. We raised money to help out with this tour, and it really was great. The camaraderie. We had other people from other organizations like Omega Psi Phi and Alpha Phi Alpha that actually participated in the golf outing also. So we're looking to grow it every year and making it bigger and bigger, and that way it can raise money for the HBCU tours. We try to do two tours a year. We do a fall tour and a spring tour. So that's what we try to do. So
JR's
the golf
a big
outing
golfer,
helps.
so you know he's...
Yeah, I'm over here thinking like, okay.
Sign him up for your next
sign
one.
me up. Definitely. Closer to the pin, that's me. Gotcha.
What do you think the young people get out of the tour?
I think they get a sense of, like I said, they've never been out of their neighborhoods. Some of them never been out of their neighborhoods. So they get a sense of actually seeing what's going on in other areas of the, the world, So by going to the HBCUs and learning from the speaker that, tells them about the different HBCU schools that they are at, they understand that, okay, this is a history thing. This is something that's not taught in all our school systems. So they get to learn a little bit about what goes on.
It's interesting you say that, because for me, when I was growing up, it was, playing basketball, and I had all these different scholarships, all these big power schools and stuff like that, and it was amazing. I would go to campuses and go to visits, and it was beautiful.
Yeah.
But when I stepped on campus for the first time at an HBCU, it never felt like, nowhere else ever felt like home like that. Mm-hmm. When I finally experienced homecoming, and I seen so many different generations of people that look like me, who are successful, who are grandmothers, who are grandfathers, who come back every year just to support the school, and that true, genuine love. I think a lot of our our youth needs to see that, needs to experience that. So for me, I appreciate you taking these kids on these tours, because if I would have experienced that at 17, 18 years old, I think I'd had a completely different outlook.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And so have I. I might have had the same type of opportunity, but at that time when I graduated from high school, my mother was like, "Okay, you need to go to college," and I was like, "Okay, well, I'm not gonna break the bank, Ma." So I'm gonna go to university here in Illinois, but I want to go to the farthest university from Chicago. So that's how I wound up at SIU in Carbondale.
You were voted on, the organization online, nominated and voted on to get this nudge
Yes.
of $10,000. What was that like when you were notified that you'd been selected?
Oh, that was great. The organization that I'm in was ecstatic. They was happy that we was able to get this grant, because we knew we can do a lot with this grant. So that was a wonderful thing. Wonderful.
Where does this grant help you guys in terms of resources of continuously pushing forward to the next goal?
Well, it helps us a lot by, in which, we're definitely looking forward to the next grant so we can expand on it even more. Like I said, we have about 45 students now that we're transporting around. It's a bus tour, and they're going from 7 different universities and colleges. So that will increase that. If we can double that, that means we'll have 2 buses. And so we can use the extra money to further that effort.
I love that you're teasing your organization, teeing us up to say, so then, Willie, how can people who want to connect with you and want to help or volunteer or support you financially, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, we have a Facebook page. They could go to the B&W Foundation on Facebook, the Blue and White Foundation, or they can email us at bnwfoundation@gmail.com.
All good ways. I just Googled you and clicked right on that link. It took me right to your Facebook page, so
Yes.
it's really, really easy.
Yes. So we're also trying to build a website, get it up and going and get things going, because, nowadays, that's why I have my daughter here. She does content, and so she kind of helps us. She actually did the video for the Toyota Nudge. So that's why I had to bring her along with me.
Well done, well done.
Smart.
She's right off
Really.
camera here. You can't see her, but she's grinning, and she did a fantastic job. So, are you optimistic? I know sometimes when we talk about people of color in education, end of affirmative action, as we've seen from the Supreme Court, college getting more expensive. I feel like there's often such bad news when it comes to higher education. Are you feeling optimistic for the opportunities that are available for people of color?
Yes, I'm very optimistic. I believe that as these days and times, as you were talking about the Supreme Court and how they're overruling different things, now we definitely need to push the education and make sure we out there, promoting that. I actually, once I graduated, I was looking into law enforcement, and I wound up turning to the fire service. So I've just recently retired, like 2 years ago, from the Harvey Fire Department, and where I was the deputy chief. But without the education, I wouldn't have been able to get to that level of greatness in the department. So education is very important to me, and I would prefer that every student at least get a chance, graduating student from high school, get a chance to go to, even if it's a junior college, just to learn the experience and to know what can be achieved. Even though I know college is not for everybody, some people can go to technical schools, and but if we can help, in that effort, we'll be more than happy to help, long as you further your education.
It's so nice to have you with us, Willie Buie and the Blue and White Foundation. Congratulations, and thanks for joining us on After the Nudge podcast.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, Willie.
And never underestimate the power of a nudge.
That's right.